Hello, hello, hello. It's Hallie, your host of My Sister's Closet podcast. And I want to tell you about a time that I failed. And we all have them, right? We all have moments or incidences or times when you fail. Oof, and it sucks. Tonight, I failed, actually. Um, so I'm here actually making a podcast episode about it. Because I think that it's important to talk about that. I actually shared another failure with a friend of mine yesterday. So I want to talk about it. I want to be honest. I have had great success. So many things I've done. I feel like I've done well. I've succeeded. I felt good about the outcome. But there is also a list, a plethora, some might say, of things that I have failed at. And I mean major, big time failed. So, let's talk about it. Cannot everybody name a time when they failed? I mean, when they haven't done something right or they tried to do something and it went epically wrong. And that feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach makes you sick a little bit. Yeah, that was me. And it also wasn't me today, but it is me or has been me. Like, I'm planning an event for the future right now, currently, and I'm coming to grips with failure and that the only failure that is like true failure is one that you don't learn something from, right? And the best, smartest, most successful people, they say that those are the people that have failed the most. So I can't really feel that badly, but I know that going into planning an event, I do look back on an event that I've planned before. And I will say I've planned events that people were already supposed to be at and they arrived, they had a great time. It was fantastic. I love planning events. My family all gets together and they do it beautifully and I'm just super impressed by whenever they help me do an event. It's just fantastic. But I did one during COVID. If that I mean, I have not planned an event except for like my baby shower or something since then. Because when I had that event, and full disclosure, you know, it was COVID. People were masked up. Some people weren't masked up. I, for one, I was rocking the mask. I gotta be honest. I was. I was out there. I was I was out there with the little mask. I will say it was a lot going on. But I planned an event in Birmingham. I think it was called Alabama Power, and it was supposed to be a charity concert. I lined up musicians and artists and dancers, and it was awesome. There was a food truck who showed up. I had a free venue. Nobody charged me anything. It was fantastic, except nobody showed up. No one showed up. I think I had two people there. And with the artists and staff, I guess that counts as people showing up. But for me, it felt humiliating. It felt oh, it was just a terrible feeling. The people that were there, they stayed with me the whole time. It was just sinking. It felt just terrible. Because I was super excited about it, and I raised the money that I wanted to raise. I raised $400 to $600, and the money went to people who were going to not be able to pay their power bill because not being able to work in different places. So I paid off either people's bills or I was able to reconnect a bill or a power. And that was fantastic. People still donated, but they did not attend. And a lot of my friends were sick. They had gotten COVID. So the people that should have been there couldn't be there because they were sick. Um, and it was, I felt so bad for the performers, but they still did it and they were amazing. I still have video footage. Maybe I don't because it's a different phone, but I told myself, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm not getting humiliated like this again. And what did I learn from that? To just give up. That was my takeaway for a long time, that I wasn't good at it. I couldn't do things like that, that I wasn't equipped. Ugh. And that's not true. But in the moment, like, that's how I felt. Was so excited about it. And it was like gut wrenching to have that happen. And you know, it was fine. It was one afternoon, but like major failure. And y'all, I am on my luteal phase. So things are like very much so like impactful to me. So I didn't realize I'd be a little emotional about that. But I don't want to like fail again and not learn from it. And I have failed since then and I will fail again. And I want to keep learning. I think that life is like education. I want to be a lifelong learner. And I think that being a lifelong learner, that means that you get to learn the same thing over again. It's just semester 2 and 3 and 4. And you might go and get your master's, your PhD. Okay. You're never truly done learning anything. And so for me, I was risking it again with the event that I'm doing in like a month or two. It could go terribly wrong. No one could show up, but I would be there. And I know now I'm doing things that are for me. I'm saying things that I feel like someone needs to hear. And that that matters. And that matters more than my fear of failing. And it should matter to y'all and to you guys. Because if you can just sit right here and you can't think about something that you've failed in, maybe you're playing it too safe. Maybe you're staying in your comfort zone, but is that really living? You're just surviving, not thriving. There are a lot of things that I have never tried to do before that I'm going to try now because I want to fail and I want to fail well. I want to try the things that I may be terrible at because I want to say that I tried. One, I want to say that I did. Two, and I want to say that I've done that as well. Been there, done that. I want to say that at the end of my life, whenever that may be, that I have lived and that I have failed and I have succeeded. I hope that I'm able to give myself grace in the middle of failure. Some might say that I'm a failure right now, you know, and that's okay. People can say and are free to hold those thoughts. Being a divorced woman at 31 years old is not, and with 2 little kids, is not what I planned that. You know, some people may say that's a failure, but for me, I have a great co-parent, and I'm a great co-parent, and I refuse to fail my kids, and I refuse to fail my family. Maybe I already did, I guess. It's kind of goes back and forth, I go back and forth. But I will say that I'm proud of myself, and we will definitely get more into my life, of course. But I want my listeners to stop for a second and think, what is one thing that I could have learned from one of my failures? And what have you learned? What have you learned when you messed up? What have you learned when you tried to do something and it went bad? I know that you've experienced that. So how did you grow? And yeah, I want you to meditate on that and think about that, but get back to me. Let me know. Send me a comment, send me a DM. Let me know what you did when you failed. And did you learn something from it? And did you decide to be better? You know, I want to fail in a way that when I get back up, I'm not broken. I'm not ashamed. And that I have like given grace to myself. And, you know, a lot of y'all probably don't know actually, but I work in a very fast paced environment. I'm on my feet all day. And, you know, I started there a very long time ago. My full-time job, I started there a very long time ago. And I was just a kid when I started, just a kid, now that I think about it. And I was just so full of anger. I was just, you say one thing to me, and I am ready to say something. And not always just crazy, because, like, again, Christian, homeschooled, you know, meek, mild. I'm not that meek or mild, but I was still kind of in that, you know, show respect. Da da da. These are all people who are working too. Like they all have to be here. And I had a saying, and I still say it. I had to give grace to get grace. I think it's very important. You have to give grace to other people. You have to give grace to yourself. Give grace to get grace. Give grace to those other people, and they should extend grace to you. But when you're getting frustrated, when things aren't going the way that you want, when someone doesn't see the vision, when someone doesn't see what you're trying to do, maybe at work or in life, or when you're in the car and it's rush hour, you know what you need to be doing? Giving yourself grace because you're getting angry and that road rage is starting. I see it. But also giving grace to other people. You don't know what's going on in their lives. In another person's life, you don't know, and you may see them every day. And there are things and burdens and failures that they've also had. And do they know how to fail well? Or are you just assuming that because they haven't told you that their life is messed up, that they're just on this grand happy journey? Because that's not right either. We shouldn't assume things. Funny story about assuming. For me, I used to babysit for this amazing couple. Loved their son. Oh my God. And they got me a necklace of a country, the Dominican Republic, and I loved it. They got me a necklace and it was the map of the country, the necklace pendant was. And I was wearing it. I was in college and somebody looked at it. Everyone's always doing this to me. They were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute. What is that?" I was like, "It's the map of the Dominican Republic." They're like, "Oh my god, is that where you're from?" I said, "No. Why would you think that?" Being a smartass. And she said, "Oh, I just assumed it." And I was like, "Yeah, well, you know what they say about assuming." And I said, "But now I feel like the ass. I feel like the ass." So that was not great. It wasn't wonderful for me. Um, so that also was a failure. And I never say that to people anymore because I bet she felt like crap because I put her down for just a natural assumption because of how I look. I failed a lot in my life, but I think some wins are on my way or are on their way to me. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is my winning season. I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot of failures to work through and to experience. But it's going to be a good ride. And I don't think I can get there without a few failures along the way. And I think that if there's something that y'all want to learn or do, you might have to accept that you might fail a little along the way. And that's okay. That's a part of life, being lifelong learners, you know? And I really hope that you come along and learn with me. And I think that's all I have to say. Um, Thank you if you stayed for the episode. I just really needed to get this out after a failed podcasting interview session. Hopefully, I can get back and try it again and get my connection to be better because that was another failure. And I felt like I needed to document it, that I still did something good because good can come out of anywhere. I believe that. So please be well. And y'all, leave me something. Let me know. What did you learn when you failed about yourself, about the world, and how did you make it better? Okay. Bye, guys.